Welcome to Red Moon Anime. Today we're breaking down the wild events of DanDaDan Episode 3. Let's dive straight into the action. We kick things off with Momo's grandma making a bold appearance on a local TV show, where she exposes the truth about a famous TV star's age and whether he's single or has children. The actor denies all the claims. After the show, two backstage workers discuss the situation, commenting that the whole Santa Dodoria thing seems exaggerated and flamboyantly off. They express doubt that such a young idol could have a wife and child, wondering if it's okay to air the show. Ultimately, they decide it's probably fine since no one would get too upset over a small local program like this one. Next, we see Momo's grandma leaving the TV station in a taxi. The driver recognizes her and asks if she's really Santa Dodoria, mentioning that he saw her on TV recently. He then asks if she truly has psychic powers. Momo's grandma asks him to drop her off, but the driver quickly clarifies that he's not trying to offend her. He just wants to see her powers in action. She then tells him to hurry up and drive if he doesn't want to die. The scene then shifts to Turbo Granny, who has fully taken over Okarun's body. Just as she catches Momo and attempts to do something to her, Momo's grandma attacks, sending Turbo Granny crashing into a nearby river. Clearly unimpressed, Momo's grandma comments that she thought Momo had brought home yet another scumbag, but this time it's not even a human. She grumbles that her granddaughter only brings trouble and worries that all this stress is going to dry out her skin. Meanwhile, Turbo Granny recovers and launches an attack on Momo's grandma, only to find herself caught on fire. Momo's grandma remarks that it was a close call, and notes just how incredibly fast Turbo Granny is. However, everything is unfolding exactly as she predicted. Anticipating that Turbo Granny would strike from her blind spot, she had set a trap in advance. Momo's grandma warns Turbo Granny that if she crosses the line, she'll die. She explains that the circle she created acts as a barrier, and if she drives a warding nail into it, the inside will become a protected zone. Conversely, if she drives the nail outside the circle, the entire surrounding area will become the barrier. She reveals that Turbo Granny couldn't touch her because she has been protected by this barrier all along. Hearing this, Turbo Granny becomes enraged, vowing to kill and eat Momo's grandma, warning her that she won't be trapped forever. Unfazed, Momo's grandma responds that she has no intention of trapping Turbo Granny, as her plan is to kill her. She then launches a series of fierce attacks, and when Turbo Granny tries to retaliate, her body catches fire, forcing her to retreat. Momo's grandma explains that within the barrier, Turbo Granny can't utilize the speed she boasts about. Furious, Turbo Granny insults her, calling her a scummy old hag. Momo's grandma, now even more annoyed, and begins another attack. Turbo Granny halts her assault and warns Momo's grandma that if she burns her, the boy she cursed will die too. However, Momo's grandma remains undeterred, declaring that she'll kill anyone who deceives her granddaughter, even if they are human. She then drives the warding nail into the circle, erasing the inner barrier, which causes Turbo Granny to catch fire. After a while, Momo regains consciousness and shockingly realizes something. She starts looking for Okarun. She finds her grandma watching TV downstairs and asks her when she came home. Her grandma tells her to be quiet because she is watching Bakatono. Momo then says she has something important to discuss with her. Grandma asks if Momo went to a spiritual hotspot. Momo acknowledges this, but explains that it was her friend who went, not her. When Grandma asks why, Momo replies that they were talking, and that's how things ended up. However, Grandma doesn't pay attention and gets distracted by the TV show, thinking that Bakatono is Japan's national treasure. This annoys Momo, who shouts at her grandma, asking if she is even listening. She insists that if she doesn't see a certain guy, he will be in big trouble. Grandma then tells her that if she's talking about the evil spirit, she has already killed it. Momo is shocked and asks what kind of evil spirit it was, specifically if it wore glasses. Grandma casually responds that Momo doesn't even believe in ghosts and reminds her that she thinks of her as a fake spirit medium. Angrily, Momo asks how long Grandma's going to hold that grudge, calling her a scummy old hag, and warns her that something really bad might happen. She pleads with her to just answer her, but Grandma dismisses her concerns, insisting that there are no evil spirits and that she is fake. Momo then apologizes to her grandma for being wrong and begs her to tell her what she did to the evil spirit. Grandma instructs her to head over to the main shrine. Momo, shouting that she will never forgive her if anything happens to Okarun, rushes in that direction. Momo remembers Okarun's words as she runs to the main shrine, reflecting on how he just wanted to be friends with her. Feeling responsible for what happened, since she pressured him into visiting the spiritual hotspot, she becomes emotional and apologizes. However, when she arrives and opens the door, she finds Okarun happily eating. Okarun, relieved, tells Momo that he's glad to see her, as he feared he might have accidentally hurt or even killed her. Momo slams the door shut, kicks it angrily and shouts, "You're still alive and well, you four-eyed scumbag." Okarun humorously apologizes for being alive, which only irritates Momo more. At that moment, Grandma appears, startling Momo. She asks since when Momo started befriending monsters. Grandma explains that Okarun's curse will remain dormant as long as he stays inside the shrine, but he'll turn back into a monster if he steps outside. Momo questions why Grandma lied about Okarun being dead. Grandma responds that Momo seemed desperate and teases her about possibly liking Okarun. Momo, frustrated, denies it, explaining that Turbo Granny took Okarun's weenie, and until they get it back, his curse won't be lifted. She insists on helping Okarun because she feels responsible for what happened. Grandma, still teasing, continues to believe Momo has feelings for Okarun, which only frustrates Momo more. Changing the subject, Momo mentions that she can now use psychic powers after a series of events involving UFOs. Grandma dismisses the idea of UFOs but acknowledges psychic powers. She warns Momo that Turbo Granny, once known as 100-Kilo Granny, is a dangerous yokai who fused with a location-bound spirit in the tunnel. These spirits are at their strongest within their territories, making them almost unbeatable in their domain. Her grandmother advises Momo not to fight Turbo Granny, warning her that it's too dangerous. She urges Momo to return to her normal life and forget about Okarun, but Momo refuses. She declares that she doesn't regret her decision, saying her favorite actor, Ken, would have acted similarly in this situation. Her grandmother teasingly suggests that Momo is in love with Okarun, annoyed. Momo clarifies that she was talking about her favorite actor, not Okarun. Determined, Momo's grandmother offers a plan. Momo should lure Turbo Granny out of her territory, which would weaken her. However, Momo doubts her ability to outrun Turbo Granny and suggests using a barrier instead. Her grandmother explains that her barrier spells only work within Kamigo City, as they rely on the local god's powers. Realizing there's no other option, her grandmother insists that if trained hard enough, they might become fast enough to outrun Turbo Granny. Momo hesitates, noting that she never even made it to the prefecture finals and track meets, but her grandmother clarifies that she's talking about Okarun, not Momo. Okarun, feeling left out, finally speaks up, and Momo apologizes for forgetting about him. She admits that Okarun lacks stamina, and she's still controlling his curse. Her grandmother suggests that Okarun should carry Momo on his back while running to train his strength. When Okarun asks Momo how much she weighs, she angrily retorts, asking if he wants to die. Okarun admits that his cursed mode has a limit, but he agrees to start training. Both Momo and Okarun prepare for their upcoming battle, with her grandmother pledging to guide them through their training. As she leaves, she encourages Okarun to start his physical training immediately. While Momo finds her grandmother annoying, Okarun comments on how young she seems. As they prepare for the challenge ahead, Okarun apologizes to Momo for only thinking of himself during the earlier battle. Momo reassures him that there was nothing else he could have done at the time. Okarun, however, can't help but bring up the earlier door-slamming incident, accusing Momo of being disappointed in him. Momo snaps back, saying he's being a pain. After a brief argument, Momo admits that Okarun was pretty awesome during the fight, and will probably save him next time too. Okarun in turn promises that if something like that happens again, he'll do his best to protect her. She then goes to fetch a futon for Okarun to sleep at the shrine, and agrees to get him a drink, as he's feeling thirsty after everything. At this point, the truth about the actor Grandma had previously warned everyone about is revealed, confirming that every word she spoke was accurate. The next morning, Okarun urgently needs to use the bathroom. Grandma tells him to go ahead, but Momo quickly warns her that there's a serious problem. If Okarun shuts the bathroom door and sits down, the curse will activate. This means Momo would have to watch him while he uses the toilet. Embarrassed, Okarun refuses, and Momo, equally uncomfortable, also rejects the idea. With all the commotion, half of Okarun's body begins to transform into Turbo Granny. Momo, in a panic, asks Grandma if she has any ideas. Grandma questions how Momo has been holding the curse back, to which Momo explains that she sees an aura around Okarun, and when she squeezes it with her hands, it shrinks, causing the curse to subside. She can see auras on everything, even trees and rocks, and has the ability to manipulate them in a small area. Grandma, surprised, says she thought psychic powers were much more powerful, but admits Momo's ability sounds limited. Momo then explains that her powers were much stronger when they first awakened. Everything she imagined became reality, and she felt invincible. But now she can only control auras. Grandma suggests that Momo is relying too much on her vision and needs to use all her senses, particularly touch, to feel the aura with her skin. As Momo attempts this, Okarun fully transforms into Turbo Granny. Just as she opens her eyes, Okarun reverts to his human form, but he's close to his limit. Grandma asks Momo what her plan is, as Okarun is about to have a bathroom emergency. Momo yells back, reminding Grandma that it was her idea to try this technique. Meanwhile, Okarun shouts that while he doesn't want to be watched, he'd prefer that over wetting his pants. Determined, Okarun heads into the house, with Momo and Grandma desperately trying to stop him. Despite their best efforts, Okarun reaches the bathroom, forcing Momo to look at him while he handles his business. Reflects on how he once longed for extraordinary experiences, like alien abductions, but never imagined something as humiliating as this. He just wants to be free of the curse. Grandma then asks Momo if she felt invincible when her psychic powers first awakened, suggesting that might be her true potential. However, it seems that power has been sealed away, and she'll need to train to unlock it, which may take time. Suddenly, Turbo Granny appears in the bathroom, and Momo warns Grandma. Time seems to freeze as Turbo Granny taunts Momo, telling her that she's giving Grandma a choice of how to die, either by heart attack or stroke. Turbo Granny also reveals that her curse is spreading through Okarun, and she can curse anyone Okarun sees to death. She challenges Momo to meet her at the tunnel that night, warning that if she doesn't, Okarun will be used to curse everyone around him to death. With that, Turbo Granny disappears, leaving Okarun and Grandma bleeding from their noses and ears. Later that night, Momo and Okarun prepare to face Turbo Granny. Momo asks Grandma if they really have to wear the strange clothes, to which Grandma replies that they are bulletproof vests designed to protect them from evil spirits. If they take them off, they could easily die. Okarun, reluctantly agreeing, jokes that despite their odd appearance, they did manage to defeat aliens once. Grandma cuts him off, asserting that aliens don't exist. She then turns to Momo and, with a serious tone, tells her that she has been causing trouble ever since she was a child. Before they leave, Grandma hugs Momo tightly and pleads, "Don't die, please," and prays for them as they leaving by bicycle. We see them later on a train. Okarun, embarrassed by their outfits, blames Momo for choosing to take the train. Momo defends her decision, saying it's too far to bike and Okarun shouldn't waste his stamina before reaching the tunnel. Filled with determination, Momo vows not to let Turbo Granny harm her grandma and promises to defeat her. In a rebellious move, Momo removes her bulletproof vest, Okarun warns her not to do that, reminding her that the vest is meant to protect her from evil spirits, as Grandma had advised. But Momo confidently replies, "Fashion is the battle uniform for Gyaris," adding that she can't get hyped up unless she's wearing the clothes she wants to wear. She smiles at Okarun, who nervously asks why she's smiling. Momo admits she's finding the situation kind of fun, and asks Okarun if he feels the same. Okarun responds flatly, "Not at all," and he's about to puke. And that's where episode 3 leaves us. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button, share it with your fellow anime fans, and don't forget to subscribe to Red Moon Anime for more exciting recaps and anime content. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.